Hello Janakians of grade 8. Welcome back to the video session. I'm Priyanka. Today in this video we are going to revise the lessons which you learned so far, and shall we start it? In your civics you learnt unit 1 and 2, isn't it? Yes, you learnt unit 1 and 2. So in this video we are going to revise these units only. Okay, the first one is the Indian Constitution, understanding secularism, why do we need a parliament, and understanding laws. Okay, before start the revision, let me tell you that the questions and the one marks which is discussed in this video are extra. Okay, so it is not from your book back exercise. So you are going to make use of it, and also you are going to take a notes of it. Okay, take a notes and note it down all the question answers and the one marks. You just revise everything. Understand? Yes. Shall we move on to the revision? Yes, let's start from the chapter 1, that is the Indian Constitution. So let me tell you the important points of the lessons. Okay, the lesson fully I'm not going to take, only the important points we are going to revise in this. The first one, federalism. What is federalism? The extent of more than one level of government. The extent of more than one level of government. Parliamentary form of government. What is parliamentary form of government? That is the right to vote for each citizen of the country irrespective of caste or creed. Okay, so what caste they are is not a matter. Each and everyone who's above 18 can vote. Okay, separation of power. What is separation of power? The three organs of government. So the separation of power is the three organs of government, that is judiciary, legislature and executive. These are the three organs of government. Fundamental rights. What are the fundamental rights? The six major fundamental rights that every citizen of the country deserves as per the Indian Constitution. Okay, secularism. What is secularism? A country that promotes religious freedom for all its citizens. Understand? Yes. Next, let's see the mind map of this lesson. The Indian Constitution. Under this chapter, you learnt about what is constitution and need of a constitution. So, under this need of a constitution, you learnt about why does a country need a constitution and the Indian Constitution key features, isn't it? Yes. Next, Indian Constitution's feature. Under the features you learned about federalism, parliamentary form of government, separation of powers, fundamental rights, secularism. Okay, these are the points you learned under the Indian Constitution's features. Okay. Next, let's see the very short answers. That is the first one. British come to India as dash. The answer are traders. How many languages are accepted in Indian Constitution? Answer 22. The right provided by Constitution are called dash. The answer fundamental rights. The fundamental rights only provided by the constitutional rights. Okay. The Indian Constitution was drafted by dash with the Constituent Assembly. The Indian Constitution was drafted by Constituent Assembly. The father of Indian Constitution is dash. A. B.R. Ambedkar. B.R. Ambedkar. Dash is a group of people who makes laws and run the government. Answer executive. The answer is executive. Next, the extent of more than one level of government in any country is called dash. That is federalism. The Indian government is a dash form of government. That is parliamentary. Right to move freely falls under dash. The answer, right to freedom. Dash was the first finance minister of India. The answer, John Mathai. Dash was the prime minister of independent India. Dash was the first prime minister of independent India. The answer, Jawaharlal Nehru. The elected representatives in India are part of dash. The answer, legislature. Next, let's see the short answers. Define a right to freedom of religion. The answer, religions to freedom of religion is provided to all citizens. See, every person has the right to practice, profess, and propagate the religion of this choice, of their choice. Okay, and what are the negative points of a democratic society? The negative points are, in a democratic society, power can be misused. Sometimes the majority can undermine minority. The majority can undermine minority, and the citizen need certain rules to save themselves from folly. Okay, how can a leader misuse power in a democratic country? The answer, a leader misusing his power may send his security guards to beat up his neighbors for a personal reason, or ask the police not to take action against a relative who has committed a crime. Okay, in many ways they can misuse the power. So, what is a constitution? That is a written document in which we find rules that are formulated through consensus is called a constitution. Okay, next let's see the other question. What is meant by the major changes in the constitution? The answer is, the major changes in the constitution means a change in fundamental nature of the country. The change in fundamental nature of the country. Name the three organs of state as per the separation of power done in India constitution. So we saw these three organs, isn't it? They are the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. Okay. What does legislative refer to? The answer, legislative refers to the elected representatives. It refers to the elected representatives. What do you understand by the term federation? The answer, federation refers to the extent of more than one level of government in the country. Okay, so more than one level of government in the country is called federation. Okay, next let's see long answers. Why does a democratic country need a constitution? The answer, in a democratic country, the people from every society, irrespective of their social, religious, and economic and cultural background, have a direct role in electing their representatives, isn't it? So each and every individuals are responsible to elect their representative who from the government. Okay, who form the government. A democratic country need a constitution since it plays a crucial role in many aspects, like say some more points are given. It lays out the important guidelines that govern decision making within the various society of the country, and it lays down the ideals that form the basis of the kind of a country that it is a citizen aspire to live in. Okay, the several as asset of rules and principles as the basis by which the country has to be governed. So it provides rules to safeguard the interest of minority, and it prevents any kind of domination by the majority on minority. So it lays down rules that guard against the misuse of power by any political leaders, and it also provides right to its citizens and protects their freedom. Is it clear? Yes, so these are the point in which the democratic country need a constitution. Okay. So next let's see, write down the names of the Indian states which share boundaries with the following neighboring nations. So you are going to write the names of the states which are sharing their boundaries with the neighboring nations. Okay, they are, see, in this case you can see map. What kind of map it is? This is political map, isn't it? Yes. So for the states which from India which shares their boundaries. Okay, so if you take Nepal, with Nepal, which are the what are the states or sharing their boundary? That is Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Sikkim. Okay, these all are sharing their boundaries with the Nepal, and with the Bhutan the same Sikkim, then West Bengal, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya. Okay, and with Bangladesh, again the same, West Bengal, Meghalaya, and Tripura. These are the states who are sharing their boundaries with the neighboring nations. Okay. Next, let's move on to chapter 2. Next, move on to chapter 2, that is understanding secularism. Understanding secularism. Under this, let's see some important points. The fundamental rights of religious freedom. So, you learn the fundamental rights of religious freedom, and a secular country is one that gives all its citizens the freedom to practice the religion of their choice. So in India, we are not forcing any person to follow particular religion, and they can take practice of their own choice. Okay, why it is important to separate religion from the state? You learned about why it is important to separate religion from the state, and how power can be used in the wrong way to stop people from practicing their own religion, and why India is a secular system. The last, understand the concept of secularism. Okay, these are the topics you learnt in this lesson. Let's see some points to remember. The Indian Constitution allows individuals the freedom to live by their religious beliefs and practices as they interpret these. Okay, so in their choice, even they can follow their choice, they can practice their own belief. Okay, the most important aspect of secularism is its separation of religion from state power. It is separated from the state power, and this is important for a country to function democratically. It is important for the country to function democratically. The Indian Constitution mandates that the Indian state be secular. The Indian state be secular. According to the Constitution, only a secular state can realize its objectives. Only a secular state can realize its objectives to ensure the following. See, some points are given. To ensure these points, it should be it can be only a secular state can be realized its objectives. They are that one religious community does not dominate another. A particular community will not dominate another. That some members do not dominate other member of the same religious community. So within the same religion, they will not dominate each other, and that the state does not enforce any particular religion nor take away the religious freedom of individual. So in the state, they will not forcing any person to practice some particular religions. Okay, they are free to follow their own religion. And the Indian constitution bans untouchability. The Indian constitution bans untouchability also. Okay, let's see the mind map. And under this chapter, understanding secularism, you learned about essence of secularism. Under this, the historical evidence and recognition of state religion. Then Indian secularism. Under Indian secularism, you learned secular state objectives, Indian state strategy, and strategy of intervention. Okay, so after that you learned about what is secularism, and importance of the separation, and majority versus minority, freedom of religious interpretation, and examples. More than that, you learn about Indian democracies versus other democracies. Okay, so independence of religion, difference, abolition of untouchability, and secular principle. These are the topics you learnt in this chapter, and the glossary for this lesson is secularism, constitution, and untouchability, principles, ideals, and prohibit. Okay, next let's see the very short answer. Hitler had prosecuted Hitler had prosecuted dash during his region in Germany. The answer, Jaws. In Saudi Arabia, dash can't practice their religion in public, that is, non Muslims. Separation of religion from the state is referred to as dash, that is, secularism. All citizens are permitted by dash to practice their own religion. The answer, Indian Constitution. In a secular state, one religious state does not dash the other, dominate the other. Dash are not allowed to celebrate the festivals of any particular religion to promote secularism, that is, government schools. Next, the government of India does not support any one dash. Answer, religion. It will not support any religion. In dash, there are upper caste who dominate lower caste. The answer, Hinduism. Indian constitution allows religious minorities to set up their own dash. The answer, educational setup. For Sikhs, wearing a dash is an important part of religion, so they can avoid helmets, that is, turban. Dash are allowed to celebrate festivals. The answer, private schools. Private schools are allowed to celebrate the festivals. Dash is the main religion of Saudi Arabia, that is Islam. Next, let's see the short answers. What is religion? The answer, religion is the personal belief and practices relating to the divine. It is also people's belief and opinions concerning the existence, nature, and worship of the divine. See the next question. Name the majority religions practiced all world. That the answer, Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, and Judaism are the major religions practiced all over the world. Next, what is secularism? What is secularism? The answer, secularism is the belief that no one should be discriminated on the basis of the religion he or she practiced. Okay, every citizen, irrespective of which religion he or she follows, is equal in the eyes of the law. They each and every one are equal in the eyes of the laws and policies that govern the nation. Okay, in front of government, each and every one are equal. What are the other reasons of separating the power of the state from religion? The answer, people should have the freedom to leave the religion they have been practicing and join another religion. They should also have the freedom to interpret religions, teachings differently, isn't it? Yes, it is for these reasons that it is important to separate the power of the state from religions. So, next one, what are the objectives of the Indian Constitution that advocates secularism? That advocates secularism. The answer, the objectives of the Indian Constitution that advocates secularism are: one religious community should not dominate other. One religious community should not dominate others. Some members of a religious community should not dominate other members of the same religious community. And the last one, the state should not enforce any particular religion nor take away the religious freedom of individuals. Is it clear? Yes. Next, let's see the long answers. That is, secularism is separating religion from the power of the state. Discuss why it is vital to separate the power of the state from religious practices. The answer, secularism is very essential for the smooth functioning of a democratic country, isn't it? Yes. In today's world, people go to other countries to work or to do businesses. So many people from India have gone to the abroad to for the purpose of working and for the purpose of making business or sometimes learning, study purpose. So you will find that people of different religions live in the same locality. In that event of people of different religions living together in the same locality, there is a possibility that people belonging to one particular religion being in the majority. Okay, if this majority has access to state power, there is a likelihood that it will use it to discriminate and dominate the majority group which practice another religion. In a secular democratic country, any form of domination or tyranny based on religion is in violation of the rights that a democratic society guarantees to each and every citizen, irrespective of their religion, Therefore, it is important not to allow any one religion, even though it may be the majority, to violate the fundamental right of all citizens. If this right has to be maintained, it is vital to separate the power of the state from religious practices. Okay, next let's see the chapter 3. So the chapter 3 is, why do we need a parliament? Under this chapter you learnt about the functions of a parliament, how parliament is connected to the idea of democracy and elections, need for a parliament in a country, a role of people in choosing their representatives in a democracy, role of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and the last, how the representatives for the same are elected. Next, let's see the points to remember. In Parliament, it consists of three parts, that is, the President, Lok Sabha, and Rajya Sabha. In Lok Sabha, it means lower house, it is the house of people. Okay, in this, the maximum strength is 552 members from every states. Okay, the 20 members from union territories and 2 members from Anglo-Indian community. Anglo-Indian community, that is the nominated by president. He will be nominated by the president. The president by the speaker. The president will be nominated by the speaker. Okay. Members are elected for 5 years. Members are elected for 5 years. Every 5 years they will be getting change. Okay. Then the Rajya Sabha, which is upper house. It is a upper house. The Council of State are Parliament House. The Council of State is Parliament House, and the maximum seats are 250. The maximum seats will be allotted in 250. Okay. 238 seats selected by state and union territories, and 12 members are nominated by the president. Okay, the president by the chairman. The president will be taken by the chairman, that is vice president. Members are elected for 6 years. For this in this Rajya Sabha, members will be elected for 6 years. Then law making. What is law making? First they will be reading. That is introduction stage. Second reading is discussion stage, and third reading is voting stage and president's assent, and the last one is president's assent. The parliament can introduce new laws and change the old ones. A law is first introduced in the form of a bill. They will be introduced in the form of bill, and a bill is the draft of a propos- proposed law. A bill is the draft of a proposed law. So there are three categories of bills. How many categories of bills? Three category. They are money bill, ordinary bill, and constitutional bill. Okay, fine. Next, let's see the mind map. So under this chapter, why do we need a parliament? You learnt about historical background, executive powers of the parliament, and parliament, isn't it? Yes. So these are the topics you covered in this lesson. Just go through the mind map. Fine. Very short answers. Next, very short answers. The first one, the Government of India Act came out in dash. The answer, 1909. For general elections, electronic voting machines were used for the first time in dash 2004. The electronic voting machine is introduced in the year 2004. Dash demanded from British government in 1985 to allow elected members in the legislature. The answer, Indian National Congress. The answer is Indian National Congress. The idea of dash is the takeoff point for a democracy. The answer, consent. An individual gives her consent to the government with the help of dash. The answer, elections. Next, dash is made up of all the representatives elected by the Indian people. The answer, Lok Sabha. MLAs are the elected representatives of dash, that is state legislature. The Lok Sabha was formed in dash. The answer, 1947. In the 2014 election, Dash was the leading party of the country, that is Bharatiya Janata Party. The president appoints dash members of Rajya Sabha. They are 12 members of Rajya Sabha. Every dash years, the elections are held in India to elect the representatives of Lok Sabha. The answer 5 years once. The election will be 5 years once. It will be held in 5 years once. Once in a 5 year it will be conducted. Let's see the short answers. What are the basic ideals of a democracy? The answer, the basic ideals of a democracy are the participation of the citizens in the government's decision making, okay, and the need for the government to have the consent of its citizens in all majority issues taken by it, okay. What is the purpose of a parliament? What is the purpose of a parliament? The answer, the parliament enables citizens of India to participate in decision making and also control the government. What was the main principle of the Indian constitution? The answer, the main principle of the Indian constitution was universal adult franchise. That is, all adults in free India could vote and participate in decision making. Okay. Who designed the Parliament House in India? The Parliament House in India was designed by the British architect Herbert Baker. Okay. Next, what is an EVM? What is an EVM? Which means an EVM is an electronic voting machine used for election in India. What is a constituency? The answer, the country is divided into many areas for election purpose. They divided into many areas for election purpose, and each area is called a constituency. Each area is called a constituency. A representative is elected from each constituency to serve in the legislative bodies. To serve in the legislative bodies. Is it clear? Next, mention the two houses of the Indian Parliament. What are the two houses? Do you remember? Yes, they are Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. What are the three major duties of the Parliament? They are to select the national government, to control, guide and inform the government, and law making. These are the main three duties of Parliament. Next, let's see long answers. Write a brief note on the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. So when you take Rajya Sabha, the Rajya Sabha functions primarily as the representative of the state of India, representative of the states of India in the parliament. Okay, there are 233 elected members will be. How many members? 233 elected members plus 12 members who is nominated by the president, who will be nominated by the president, and the member of the Rajya Sabha or elected by the elected member of the legislative assembly, and the Rajya Sabha plays an important role of reviewing and altering the laws initiated by the Lok Sabha. Okay, initiated by the Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha, what is Lok Sabha? It known as the House of the People. It known as the House of the People with a total member of 543. How many members are there? 543 member, and as president over by the speaker. So speaker will be under speaker president, under president 543 members will be there. Okay. The country is divided into 543 Lok Sabha constituencies. During a Lok Sabha election, people from different political parties stand for elections. Okay, they will be taking part in that election, and once elected, these candidates become member of parliament, that is MPs. These MPs together make up the parliament. These MPs together make up the parliament. Next, let's see the map work. In this 2004 map of parliamentary constituencies, this roughly identify the constituencies in your state. So in your state it is given roughly. Okay, so in this you are going to write what is the name of the MP from your constituency and how many MPs does your state have, why are certain constituencies colored green while other are colored blue. Okay, for these questions you are going to write the reasons, and this question is from your book. Okay, yes, let's see the answer. So you have to write which is your state, your state name you have to write. That is, my state is Tamil Nadu and my constituency is Coimbatore. MP from my constituency is PR Nadarajan. And how many elected MPs are there? 18 MPs are elected in our state. Okay, green constituencies are referred to the ST, that is scheduled tribes, and blue constituency refers the SC, they are scheduled caste. Is it clear? Yes. Next, let's see the chapter 4, that is understanding law. So, under this chapter, you learnt about important role in the formation of law. Important role in the formation of law, the major laws that came into action, the unpopular and controversial laws. Unpopular and controversial laws. Let's see the point to remember. Let's see the points to remember. All are equal before law. Each and every one are equal before law. The law cannot discriminate anyone on basis of religion, caste and gender, isn't it? Yes, each and every one are equal in front of law. When problems are faced by people, they raise the need for a particular law through media like television, radio, newspaper, etc. Isn't it? So nowadays we can approach so many medias, isn't it? Yes. The citizen plays a crucial role in coming of a new laws. They are the main reason who creates the new laws. Okay, what is the procedure of coming of new law? So what is the procedure? So if you want a new law, a people who needs the new law, they will be approaching the organization. Then several organizations discuss on the complaint. They will be discussing about the complaint and they make the draft of laws. They will make the draft of laws. The draft is then sent to minister. The draft laws are sent to minister. Okay, then he introduces the law. The minister introduces the law. Then voting of several ministers of Lok Sabha takes place. If it is approved by Lok Sabha, it is sent to committee 1 for further procedure. For further procedure, it will be sent to the committee 1. And also, if it is getting approval by committee 1, it is then sent to Rajya Sabha. First it will go to Lok Sabha. The members will be voting for it. Once it is selected, it will send to the committee 1. Once it is approved by committee 1, this set of laws will be sent to the Rajya Sabha. Here ministers vote again. Even the ministers will vote again. Once the bill are approved, it will be sent to committee 2. After that, it will be approved, the law will be approved and it goes to president, and if president approves it, then the new law is introduced in society. So to implement a law, so many procedures are there. Okay, so many procedures are there to implement a law. Is it clear, children? Yes. Parliament passes new laws every year that may be unpopular, and some of these laws may be unacceptable to people because they could feel law as unfair and harmful. Okay, as citizen plays crucial role in electing their representative, they also play a crucial role in helping parliament perform its representative functioning properly. Okay, yes, even the people, the citizens are taking part to give the performance its representative functioning properly. Okay, next, let's see the mind map. In this chapter, understanding law, you learnt about laws. So, law, under this law, you learnt about rules of law and origin of law and origin of laws. Then, role of parliament in lawmaking, law on domestic violence, and then you learnt about unpopular and controversial laws, the municipal laws, rules of court, and vigilation citizen. Okay, these are the topics you learnt in this words of glossary in this lesson. Next, let's see very short answers. The age at which a person can start voting in our country is dash year. The answer, 18. In India, men can get married at a maximum age of dash. The answer, 21. The constitution states that there should be no dash exercise of power. The answer, arbitrary. British had passed dash in 1870. The answer, Sedition Act. The answer, Sedition Act. Next, during the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy, people were protested against dash. They protested against Rowlatt Act. They protested against Rowlatt. Dash was responsible for the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The answer, General Dyer. Dash was introduced in 2005. The answer, Hindu Succession Amendment Act. Hindu Succession Amendment Act. Dash refers to injury caused by an adult male to a female. The answer, domestic violence, which means the domestic violence. In order to become an act, a bill has to pass both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Dash submits its report regarding any bill to Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Who will submit the report? That is Parliamentary Standing Committee. Parliamentary Standing Committee. Next, let's see short answers. Mention the different categories under which law can be classified. The answer, some of the categories under which law can be classified are criminal law, contract law, property law, international law, and equity and trust laws. Okay, mention some of the common laws that govern us. The common laws are the age at which a person can vote, specific age for marriage, and laws governing the selling and buying of property. Next, when was the Hindu Succession Amendment Act revised? When was the Hindu Succession Amendment was revised? The answer, the Hindu Succession Amendment Act was revised in 2005. What was the Sedition Act? What was the Sedition Act? The answer, according to the Sedition Act of 1870, any person protesting or criticizing the British government could be arrested without due trial. Without due trial. Okay. Next, let's see the long answers. How is a new law introduced in Parliament? How is a new law introduced in Parliament? So, already we discussed about it, isn't it? Do you remember? Yes, they are. Parliament of India consists of the President and two houses, the Council of State or the Rajya Sabha and the House of the People or the Lok Sabha. A bill can be introduced in either houses of parliament. A bill introduced by the ministers. Who will introduce the bill? Minister is known as government bill. It's known as government bill, and a bill introduced by a private member is known as private member's bill. Okay, and the procedure for the passage of the bill is similar in both the cases. A bill has to pass through three stages. How many stages are there? Three stages in each house of parliament, and received presidential assent before it becomes an act of parliament. So before it become an act of parliament, it should be accessed by the president. Okay, in the event of a deadlock between the two houses on a bill, the issue is resolved at a joint sitting of the two houses. It will be resolved with the sitting of both the houses. Okay, yes. Okay, children, so far we have completed all the lessons which you learnt in the previous videos. Okay, I hope it will be useful for you and make use of it. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.